When I sign this bill into law, America will have the lowest marginal tax rates and the most modern tax code among major industrialized nations.
The last time we had significant tax reform in this country was 30 years ago. The 1986 Tax Reform Act was a truly comprehensive reform. It eliminated many tax shelters. It reduced the rates for almost all taxpayers, and it broadened the base. It was a truly transformative change for all American taxpayers.
Millions of working poor will be dropped from the tax rolls altogether, and families will get a long overdue break with lower rates and an almost doubled personal exemption.
The tax code had grown over the years to be something that was complicated, had lots of hidden tax breaks and shelters that politically powerful companies were able to take advantage of. At the time of the 86 reform, there were companies paying almost no taxes, while individual taxpayers saw their burden grow and felt like they were not getting a fair deal.
Because there was a real problem, widely perceived as a problem, no one could allow tax reform to die, because they would be blamed for failing to solve the problem.
Closing loopholes had traditionally been what Democrats were for. Lowering rates were traditionally what Republicans were for. The question is, can you bridge that divide and bring something together? The answer is yes, but if Ronald Reagan had not said, I put my imprimatur on this, it would not have happened.
Most of the veterans of the 1986 reform think that it was critical that the White House was committed to seeing tax reform pass and was committed to working with Congress, even though not all of Congress was controlled by the president's party. So you had a Republican president working with a Democratic House of Representatives, and that's how the bill got done. Today, 30 years after that 86 reform, we're in a similar circumstance where individuals feel like their burden is growing. Politically powerful interests are getting away with not paying very many taxes at all. So we're back in a circumstance where the tax system doesn't seem fair, that it doesn't feel like it's serving kind of individual working Americans who get a paycheck and see a big chunk of it taken out for taxes. Today, everybody in Washington can agree on just about two things and nothing else. One, it's time to reform the tax code, and two, reforming the tax code is going to be almost politically impossible.
This thing became bigger than yourself. This idea of not being able to talk to each other is the root of the problem here at this point. They don't like each other.
You have a hard time realizing the guy across the aisle is a human being like you and shares a number of the things you care about.
It's way past time to reform the tax code. We need to take the lessons that we learned from 1986 and have the new members of Congress apply them and get to work.